Hello, my little friends. Today, I will tell you the magical story of Pinocchio, a wooden puppet who dreamed of becoming a real boy. So sit back, relax, and let's begin our adventure together. Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by green hills and singing birds, there lived a kind old man named Geppetto. He was a woodcarver. He made beautiful toys and wooden clocks. But Geppetto was very lonely. He had no family, no wife, no children. Every night, he would sit by the fire and whisper, "Oh, how I wish I had a son to love." One sunny morning, Geppetto decided to make a puppet, not an ordinary one, but a very special puppet that could smile, dance, and make him happy. He picked the finest piece of wood, smooth and golden, and began to carve. He gave it arms, legs, a tiny round belly, and a cheerful little nose. When Geppetto finished, he looked at his puppet proudly. "I will call you Pinocchio," he said with joy. "You will be like a son to me." That night, something magical happened. As Geppetto slept, a gentle blue light filled his workshop. Out of that light appeared a kind fairy with sparkling wings, the Blue Fairy. She smiled kindly at the wooden puppet. "Little puppet," she whispered, "your father wishes for you to live and bring him happiness. So, I will give you life." With a wave of her wand, she said, "Awake, Pinocchio." Suddenly, the puppet blinked. His wooden eyes opened, his legs moved, and his head turned. "Oh," he said in surprise, "I can talk. I can move." The Blue Fairy smiled. "Pinocchio, you are alive now. But remember, you are still made of wood. If you want to become a real boy, you must learn to be brave, honest, and kind." Pinocchio nodded excitedly. "Yes, Fairy, I will be good." "Good," said the fairy. "To help you, I will send a friend, Jiminy Cricket. He will be your guide and teach you right from wrong." Then the fairy disappeared in a swirl of blue sparkles, and a small green cricket jumped onto the table. "Hello there," said Jiminy Cricket in a tiny voice. "Looks like we're going to be best friends." "Ha!" The next morning, Geppetto woke up and saw his puppet walking and talking. "Pinocchio," he shouted with joy. "My little boy, you can move." Geppetto danced around the room, laughing with tears in his eyes. "Now I truly have a son." From that day, Geppetto treated Pinocchio like his real child. He made him clothes, taught him how to read, and even gave him a school bag. "Now go to school and learn well," he said one morning. "Be a good boy, and listen to your teacher." Pinocchio kissed Geppetto goodbye and skipped happily down the road. But as he walked, he heard music and laughter from a nearby field. There was a big colorful tent, and people were shouting, "Come see the puppet show, the most amazing show in the world." Pinocchio stopped. "A puppet show? That sounds much more fun than school." Jiminy Cricket shouted, "No, Pinocchio, remember what the fairy said, be good, go to school." But Pinocchio didn't listen. He ran toward the tent, laughing. Inside, he saw many wooden puppets dancing and singing. "Wow, they look just like me," he said. Suddenly, the puppet master, a large man with a long beard, saw Pinocchio and shouted, "A puppet with no strings? Incredible! You will make me rich." He grabbed Pinocchio and locked him in a cage. Pinocchio cried, "Please let me go. I just want to go home." Jiminy tried to help, but the cage was too strong. Then, in a flash of blue light, the Blue Fairy appeared again. "Pinocchio," she said softly, "why are you not at school?" Pinocchio looked down and said, "I was on my way to school when two big monsters caught me." At that moment, something strange happened. His wooden nose started to grow. "Pinocchio," said the fairy, "remember, every time you tell a lie, your nose will grow longer." Pinocchio's eyes grew wide. "Oh no, I'm sorry. I skipped school to see the puppet show." The Blue Fairy waved her wand, and his nose went back to normal. "Tell the truth, Pinocchio, and your heart will grow closer to becoming real." Then she freed him from the cage and disappeared again. Pinocchio ran back toward home, but on his way, he met two strangers, a sly fox and a tricky cat. The fox said, "Hello, my wooden friend. You look tired. Where are you going?" "I'm going home to my father," said Pinocchio. The fox smiled wickedly. "Why rush home? Come with us. We know a place where you can plant your gold coins, and they will grow into a money tree." Jiminy Cricket shouted again, "Don't listen to them, Pinocchio. They're lying." But Pinocchio, still curious, followed the fox and the cat. They led him deep into the woods and tricked him into burying his coins. When he turned around, they were gone, and so were his coins. Poor Pinocchio cried, "Oh no, I should have listened." He walked sadly through the forest until he met the blue fairy once more. "Pinocchio," she said, "did you learn your lesson?" "Yes, fairy," said Pinocchio. "I must always listen to good advice." "Good," she smiled. "Now go home to your father. He is very worried about you." Pinocchio hurried home, but when he reached the village, Geppetto was gone. The neighbors said he had gone out to sea looking for Pinocchio. "He took a small boat to find you," they told him. Pinocchio's heart filled with love and sadness. "I must find my father," he said bravely. He went to the seashore and asked a fisherman for a ride, but the waves were wild and the wind was strong. Pinocchio jumped into the water anyway and swam as fast as he could. "Hold on, father, I'm coming." Suddenly, a huge dark shadow rose from the deep sea, a giant whale. Its mouth opened wide, and before Pinocchio could escape, the whale swallowed him whole. Inside the whale's belly, it was dark and cold. Pinocchio shivered and whispered, "Oh no, what will I do now?" Then, in the darkness, he saw a small light. He walked closer and gasped. It was Geppetto, sitting by a candle, fishing for food with a stick. "Father," shouted Pinocchio. "It's me, Pinocchio." Geppetto dropped his fishing rod and ran to hug him. "My boy, you found me." They hugged and cried together. "We will find a way out," said Pinocchio bravely. Inside the belly of the whale, Pinocchio and Geppetto sat together by the dim candlelight. The whale's giant heart rumbled like thunder above them, and waves echoed all around. Geppetto sighed sadly. "My poor boy," he said. "I thought I had lost you forever." Pinocchio hugged him tightly. "I'm so sorry, father. I should have gone to school. I should have listened. I will never leave you again." Geppetto smiled weakly. "It's all right, my son. We are together now. That's all that matters." But the whale's belly was dark and cold. They had only a few crumbs of food, and Geppetto's candle was almost burned out. Pinocchio looked around and said, "We can't live here, father. We have to find a way out." Geppetto sighed. "But how? The whale is huge, and we are so small." Pinocchio thought for a moment, tapping his wooden chin. "I have an idea. When the whale opens his mouth to eat, we can swim out together." "But the sea is dangerous," Geppetto said gently, "and you are made of wood. You might float away." Pinocchio smiled bravely. "Then I will carry you. Father, you took care of me. Now it's my turn to take care of you." For hours, they waited patiently. Then the whale began to yawn, a giant yawn that shook the whole ocean. "Now," cried Pinocchio. He grabbed Geppetto's hand, and they both jumped into the water. The sea roared and splashed around them. Pinocchio held Geppetto tightly and kicked his legs as hard as he could. "Hold on, father, don't let go." The whale noticed them escaping and blew out a huge fountain of water, but the current pushed Pinocchio and Geppetto toward the shore. Finally, after a long struggle, they reached the beach. Geppetto lay exhausted on the sand, and Pinocchio collapsed beside him. "Father, we made it," whispered Pinocchio. But Geppetto did not answer. He was too weak, too tired to move. Pinocchio shook him gently. "Father, please wake up." When Geppetto didn't respond, Pinocchio felt tears fall down his wooden cheeks. "Please, Blue Fairy," he cried into the sky. "I did everything I could. I was brave. I was kind. I told the truth. Please help my father." The sea was quiet. The stars twinkled above. Then a soft, blue light began to glow around him. The blue fairy appeared once more, her smile kind and full of love. "Pinocchio," she said softly, "you have proved yourself to be brave, truthful, and unselfish. You risked your life to save your father. That is what it means to be real." Pinocchio wiped his tears. "Does that mean?" The blue fairy nodded. "Yes, my little wooden boy, you have earned the right to be a real child." She waved her wand, and a shower of sparkling light fell over Pinocchio. His wooden body began to glow and change. His joints became soft. His wooden hands turned warm and alive, and his eyes filled with real tears. I'm real," Pinocchio gasped. He looked at his hands in wonder. "I can feel. I can breathe." Geppetto slowly opened his eyes. "Pinocchio?" he whispered. Pinocchio smiled and hugged him. "Father, look, I'm a real boy." Geppetto couldn't believe his eyes. He cried tears of joy. "Oh, my dear son, my wish has come true. You are alive, truly alive." The blue fairy smiled, her wings shining like moonlight. "You have both learned the power of love and honesty. Remember, Pinocchio, being real is not about how you look, but how you act and what's in your heart." Then she disappeared once again into the sky, leaving behind a trail of sparkling stars. The next morning, the sun rose bright and golden, birds sang in the trees, and waves whispered gently on the shore. Pinocchio and Geppetto walked home together, hand in hand. When they reached their little wooden house, everything looked more beautiful than ever before. The clock ticked cheerfully, the window flowers danced in the breeze, and Jiminy Cricket hopped in through the door. Well, look who's finally real." Jiminy laughed. "I knew you could do it, kid." Pinocchio laughed. "Thank you, Jiminy. I couldn't have done it without you." Geppetto placed his arm around his son. "From now on," he said, "we will live happily together, and we will never lie or disobey again." Pinocchio nodded. "I promise, Father. I will always tell the truth, study hard, and be kind to everyone." And from that day on, Pinocchio kept his promise. He went to school every morning, helped Geppetto with his work, and played joyfully with the children of the village. Everyone loved him, not just because he was real, but because he was honest and good-hearted. The lessons of Pinocchio. As time passed, Pinocchio learned many things, not just reading or writing, but how to care for others and how to make good choices. He learned that every lie, no matter how small, can grow just like his nose once did, and he learned that telling the truth always brings peace to the heart. He also learned that real courage is not about fighting or shouting, it's about doing what's right, even when it's hard. When he saved his father from the whale, he showed true bravery. Jiminy Cricket stayed by his side as his loyal friend, whispering advice whenever Pinocchio faced a difficult choice. "Always let your conscience be your guide," Jiminy would say. Sometimes Pinocchio made mistakes, as all children do, but he always tried to fix them and learn from them. Each time he helped a friend, told the truth, or made his father smile, his heart grew warmer and stronger. One evening, as they sat by the fire, Geppetto looked at his son and said, "You know, Pinocchio, when I first made you, I wished for a real boy, but now I understand you became real not because of magic, but because of your good heart." Pinocchio smiled. "And I became real because you loved me, Father." Geppetto nodded, eyes shining. Love makes all things real. They hugged as the fire crackled, and Jiminy sang softly on the windowsill, "When you wish upon a star, your dreams can come true." Outside, the stars sparkled brighter than ever, as if the blue fairy herself was smiling down from the sky. Epilogue: Pinocchio's happy life. Years passed, and Pinocchio grew taller and stronger. He helped Geppetto repair toys for the children of the village. He always shared his food with the poor and told stories to make everyone smile. People often asked, "Pinocchio, how did you become such a good boy?" Pinocchio would smile and say, because I once was a puppet, and I learned how important it is to listen, to be honest, and to love. Children loved visiting him, and he always reminded them gently, don't let lies grow like my nose did. Tell the truth. Even if it's hard, it will make you feel free. Sometimes, on quiet nights, he would look at the stars and whisper, thank you, Blue Fairy, for giving me the chance to become real. And somewhere in the sky, a faint blue sparkle would shine, as if the fairy was answering, you made yourself real, my dear boy. The moral of the story, my little friends, the story of Pinocchio teaches us that being real doesn't mean being perfect. It means being honest, kind, and brave, and caring for those we love. If you ever make a mistake, don't worry. What matters is that you tell the truth. Say, I'm sorry, and try again. Like Pinocchio, you can always grow and learn. Every time you choose kindness, every time you help someone, every time you listen to your parents or teachers, your own heart becomes a little more real, full of light and love. So remember, my little friends, inside every one of you is a spark of magic that can make the world brighter, just like Pinocchio did. Goodbye with kind wishes, my little friends. Please like and subscribe to my channel.